Why don't you stay and give me just a little more time so we can say.
Hey y'all, Happy New Year. We here at Texas Local Live have been giving artists the tools they need to spread their content throughout the internet. So this year, we're going to step it up a notch. Introducing our 2018 Songwriter Competition. Go to our website at texaslocallive.com/competition to register your entry. It's $25 per, and it'll get you in the running for the final competition. We will hold a top 10 final competition at Sundown in Granada on May 6th. So get those entries in soon, and we'll see you there. Good luck in 2018. Texas Local Live. I'm Ben Martinek, and tonight we've got Mr. Jake Pyeatt in the house.
Hey, Ben, what's up, man?
Dude, not a lot. Just hanging out here in this lovely little studio we got, and just
I like
enjoying
this.
the time. Yeah,
It's kind of
it's
cool.
small. It's quaint right now, but we're rapidly growing, my friend. It's gonna.
I
get
like
crazy.
it.
It's kind of like you, man. You're growing. You're got some stuff working, man.
I'm little, but I'm growing, and I eat pretty good.
I knew it was going there, man.
Drink milk.
Yes, all your milk. Yeah,
But
big and strong.
yeah, things are happening, and I think a lot to do with things happening is simply just working on it all the time. You're taking whatever opportunities you have to get your music out there and get your art heard.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that funny? Just work and get some stuff done, and good things can happen for real. And
Yeah, I mean, you guys were talking about doing this thing. I think 6 months ago we were like, oh yeah, we'd like to do that, and then all of a sudden, bam! You guys put some legs down, and it just took off. And
yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. A lot of that giving credit to the workhorse, Mr. Jed Chris, who is behind the camera. Again, going to be there every night now at this point, but he's back there behind the camera working it like a rib. And so we definitely dig that. But, yeah, man, it took off. And like you said, you put some work into it. So.
That's right.
But, dude, we want to hear a little about you. I know it's a cliche, like, how did you get your upbringing? But really, I'm very interested in how you got started. I know, Red, you learned guitar at a young age. And
yeah, I did.
Kept rolling with it. But, yeah, tell us about how you got into everything.
I started playing guitar. I bet I was 7, 8 years old when I really wanted to learn.
Yeah.
And somewhere around that time, in the next year or two, I started really learning how to put songs together and play songs. I think I wrote my first song when I was 8.
Nice.
8, 9-ish. And I just have always been drawn to the emotional side of music. It moves you. It does things.
Oh yeah.
It can represent something good. It can also represent something kind of scary or bad, or but mostly music is an outlet for me that just kind of soothes me a little bit.
There you go. Yeah, it evokes so many feelings, man.
It
Especially
really
at a
does.
young age like that. I was in the same boat, and not as young, but similar. When you pick up an instrument like that and you feel, what's coming out of it, no matter what it is, it's
That's
a
right.
powerful thing for sure.
That's right. Yeah, and I really picked up a lot from my family. As far back as my grandmother and her dad played fiddle. She played guitar and was a singer, and
Nice.
her sisters. So
very
that was kind of passed on to my dad, and then pretty much just put out a whole bunch of babies that could play guitars.
Really?
Well,
I like it.
we all play something different, but we play several instruments. I have 2 brothers, one's older, one's younger, and so between my mom and dad being musicians, growing up around that, it's really kind of what spurred me to do this.
Yeah. Oh, you have no choice. You're gonna do something, man. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I had to make a choice, and I really knew that I wanted to play music all my life. I always knew.
Yeah.
And the older I got, the more I realized it's nothing's really tailored around that. There's no 9 to 5 necessarily.
Yeah.
There can be.
Yeah, I get what you're going. I get where you're
But
going
if
with
you
that,
want to be a traveling musician, if you want to get out there and be heard, there's not a lot of structure unless you work for a major company or something like that. So
I wonder if that's on purpose too. I mean, not necessarily on purpose, but I wonder, with the arts especially, and even if it goes to painting and visual arts and things like that too. It's all, and even dance even too. There's not necessarily a structured outlet for that, which is also a really interesting point, because those are the things that create culture. Those are these are the things that you want to hone into your children, and extracurricular activities everyone looks at, but there's no solid structure with that. Unless again,
right.
you have the family outlet, and that's huge.
I got
man.
a lot of love in that respect.
Yeah.
And my mom raised us, and my dad was on the road. They divorced when I was a little kid. So, she did everything she could to kind of give us a platform to learn and not be pushed into one direction or told we can't do it. She just let us. And being an adult now, having one on the way, I'm starting to think,
Nice.
I don't think I want my kids to play music.
Yeah.
I really don't. After all I've been through and learned, I desperately want them to learn something else.
Really, yeah.
But I love it so much that I'm just never going to stop doing it.
It's gonna be, it's gonna rub off for
and
sure.
I'm sure my parents thought the same thing.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't know if I want them out here dealing with all this,
and
and there's a lot more to it than the lights and all that stuff.
oh, for sure, yeah. It's man,
It's
immense.
a lot of
It's
work on the
immense.
back end,
Yeah,
just like
no
anything
lie.
else.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, congrats, dude, to the one on the way, man. That's
Thank
pretty
you.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah. Do you
We're
know
happy.
what it's gonna be, boy, girl?
No, not yet.
No?
That's
Surprising.
in the next few weeks. I think is the
Oh, okay.
time where you're able to tell. So,
Gotcha.
I'm not a doctor.
No, well, fair enough. You probably wouldn't be sitting here if you were, man.
That's right. I'd be either in surgery or sitting on a couch somewhere after a long day.
Exactly. Well, man, that's awesome. Congrats either way.
Thanks, I appreciate
yeah,
that.
Jed's got one too on the way.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, little Jed,
All right.
a little Jed, something.
That's what I'm afraid of. A
man.
little
Yeah.
Jake running around. That scares me.
That's a little freaky, man, to think
Yeah.
about here. Oh man, so you've got a ton of experience, obviously. The family, I mean, just getting that culture. What's obviously your life growing up was probably different than normal musicians that probably picked it up in high school or college even.
Yeah.
But
So fortunate to.
Yeah.
I grew up pretty much watching my parents play dance halls and
Yeah.
and
traveling and
yeah. At that time, it was mostly about dancing,
yeah.
and I don't know how many years it's taken to get away from that, but I remember watching my dad, on a Sunday night or something, when he'd get off the road, he'd go and play a house gig at the Cotton Club in Granger, Texas. I feel like I grew up there. Of course, it's like the occasional, Saturday, Sunday night, but those things stick with you when you're a kid. You just remember those things, and it inspired me, to have a whole room full of people looking at these guys like, wow, they're really showing us how to have a good time and playing music we love, and I wanted to be a part of that. And so I just brushed up on, I got away from heavy metal and rock and roll.
Oh, okay.
Which I
Okay.
got
Rocket
away
Man.
from that just long enough to start learning a little more, to be a little more intricate with my guitar playing, and that
Yeah.
I had to kind of step away from that hard rock
Yeah.
phase of my life and get back to the country that is my roots.
Mhm.
And and as I got older, I spent more and more time outside doing country stuff,
Sure.
and I just wanted to do it. So I dug in, got a bunch of records that I thought would help me as a guitar player and a singer, and so that a Vince Gill record was in there. But
you think?
yeah, and so I was probably 17. I was definitely too young to be in the bars and dance halls and stuff, but I turned 17 and I just took off, and somewhere around 17, 18, I was playing full time, 3, 4, 5 days a week,
Nice.
playing guitar
Wow.
as a guitar player, as a sideman,
Mhm.
and doing solo gigs in between, trying to play my own music and stuff.
Yeah.
But I learned that I had a knack for playing guitar and being a sideman, being a support role.
Adding that
And
value.
at some point, I think I just finally realized, how I wanted to do it, what I wanted to do, how I wanted to approach, playing music professionally, and I'm somewhat getting a hold on it.
A little bit, yeah.
Getting the hang of it. It's a learning process. I mean, there's just no rules. I mean, there's a
exactly.
scale, there's a major scale, but there's no rules as to what I can do with it. And with that being said, there's no rules on how I can reach people and how I
Exactly.
can share my music. So with the way things are now, it's so much easier to do. And look what we're doing, man.
know,
Guys
man.
like y'all giving a guy like me a chance to be heard in front of your your folks is
exactly
really cool.
exactly why we did this, man. From two musicians thinking about the same stuff, man. It all run through our heads, man. It's the exact same concept.
So now let me ask you a question.
Oh,
No.
all right. No, pivot. Let's do it, man. I'm down.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's crazy, and like you said, nowadays everything is. It's so easily accessible. I think the only catch to everything you said there is just that how the person receives it, and depending on who's listening and the airwaves or whatever it is, that has a lot to play with it. And I think what's getting pumped out and produced sometimes can alter people's perceptions of what not true music. I don't want to sound like that, but what is really being worked on out there, like again, like by artists like yourself that
fresh,
are really
organic stuff,
and even like I guess appreciation of it is really what it boils down to.
Absolutely,
it's just about your life and how you change it. How you've gone through these things and changed your style of play and done all this stuff, and then to be able to like put something together that is so creative and unique, and then someone to say, "Oh, I don't like that's country." Like that to me is just like,
and I find myself being a hypocrite sometimes, thinking almost just kind of a little narrow-minded, or for lack of a better word, just being in the pop mindset, where I just want it to be easy, or what's on? I don't like that. I'll turn it off. But if you don't give things a listen,
exactly.
You just got to look a little deeper sometimes, and just because it's something you haven't heard before doesn't mean it's not something that you'll love and appreciate. And I have to remind myself. It's kind of like that for me, just as an artist. It's kind of like treat others how you want to be treated. Well,
golden rule, man.
I'm trying to. The older I get, I'm trying to listen the way I want to be heard.
Yeah,
and
that's good.
And I don't know. I don't have really another way to explain that.
No, that's really well put. Actually, that's a very nice way to put it. And I think a lot patience. I'm gonna throw that word out there. Patience, man. Just listen to a 3-minute song or an album. Like that's what blows me away is like vinyls. I got vinyls at home, and I love to just boom put it on. I'll like. You just veg, you know what I mean? Instead of a show, and it's an hour, it's 45 minutes, but really,
might inspire you to get out and go see that band, or
exactly, or have a thought that's something of your own. When you hear something that's made by someone else, it gives you this creative. I feel like it does. Maybe that's just me, the artist, saying that. Yeah, and
I mean, I kind of get that vibe too when I'm listening to music, where it inspires you. It does. If it inspires you just to hear it, imagine being able to do it yourself. And that's what we do. We do imagine ourselves doing it ourselves, and then it kind of sparks other ideas.
Exactly.
And I mean, this is the way I think of it. Leonardo da Vinci invented just about everything we use. Even the iPhone. He had the. No, I'm just kidding. No,
he
I'm
had
joking.
the patent. Okay,
he
of
did.
The 11.
He had the patent. But it's a matter of how we use those things, and are we willing to look deep enough? I'm not smart enough to figure out all the stuff he did. But musically, I'm trying to, even if it's been invented before.
Oh yeah,
I'm trying to at least.
All of the greats are doing it.
Just put it out there.
Yeah, all the greats do it. But it's your style and how you, like you said, you're constrained to the chords. You're constrained. There's only so many notes in a scale.
Sure,
that's all you got. But how you make those interact with each other and then perform it is. That's what makes it, man. That's it. You heard it here first, everybody. Did you hear that?
Right here.
Right here. Da Vinci invented the iPhone, all right?
That's right.
Da Vinci just remember that.
I've got friends that were like, what did you just say? What the
hell just happened?
I don't understand. But, that's me.
That is it, man. So what's your, I'm going to get this one. What's your perception of the road and just the scene in Texas? And I always say Texas because obviously Texas Local Live, that's what we're promoting. But I'm talking, red dirt, grassroots, like, Texas music, but a surrounding region, I'll give you that. But what's it like out there, man, to your...
Man, well, first of all, for me, it's really enjoyable.
Okay.
I like moving and feeling like I'm accomplishing something. I have a really, really, really hard time sitting still and just doing, like, paperwork or computer work or something. I just won't do it. I'll go trim a tree or lift weights or play guitar. Like, I just can't sit still. And so being on the road kind of fulfills a little bit of that need to, I don't know.
You see something new every day.
Yeah, something new places, new people. I like getting to see new places. I really do. As much as I've traveled as a musician, it's different when you're an artist. You're making your own decisions. and you and your people are making decisions that affects the people around you. And for a long, long time, I just kind of tagged along.
Yeah.
And now I'm having to make decisions as a leader. I mean, my wife and I are doing all of our stuff by ourselves, and with the help of like Herbie, our guy that plays bass with me.
Okay.
He does some booking and things like that. But you still have to be mindful of what you're doing out there.
Yeah.
Being on the road, you can get into a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah. So I hear.
If you're looking for it, you can go find it. You get in the car and drive to it. But for me, what I'm looking for is that feeling, that energy that you get when you've done the work. You've spent, I don't know how many months it takes sometimes, or weeks, days it takes sometimes to plan just one show and get it right. But when you step up on stage and it goes right, there's no other feeling.
Just all that work put into it, yeah.
And so I'm kind of, I guess for me, the road is just chasing that.
Yeah.
Just constantly chasing. I love recording. I love doing sessions and
Sure.
doing all that stuff. But there is something about being out there on the road that does it.
What about other artists on the road that you encounter? People,
Met some really good people on the road.
Yeah.
I really have. I've actually made some good friendships and relationships that I still have. Met some interesting characters on the road.
Oh yeah, sure. We don't have to get it. We don't have to delve into that.
Don't even have to. You can just imagine. Go to a concert. And,
yeah, right.
Imagine you being at that concert, being the artist. You're doing that every night.
Yeah.
So you're hanging out with 1,000 people. Well, you're seeing 5 that week.
Yeah, exactly.
However many people are there.
All over the place, man. Yeah. Crazy cool, man. Just everything about your career is pretty awesome, I think. That's just my opinion. I'm just one guy, though.
I appreciate that.
I'm just one guy.
I'm really fortunate, man. I haven't had to guess a lot.
Yeah.
I've had to guess
That's nice.
sometimes about, do I feel like I'm trying hard enough? Is enough getting done?
Yeah.
But that's,
that's probably more just drive and wanting.
Drive.
That's not a guess. Yeah. So I would put that in a different category. But
yeah.
But I get you, man. That's cool. I dig that a lot. So let's get into a little bit about your music. What's coming up, man? So you've got some stuff that you released this past year.
Yeah.
And then you have some stuff coming up this year, actually. What do you got coming up for us, man?
I've got what we're trying to do is get a record done this year. And that's all independent. It's all in house, So
where are you getting that recorded, or were you?
That is the last single we did was at the Record Chamber.
Okay.
And that's it was in Denton, and now it's in Roanoke, north of Fort Worth there. But recorded with Jordan O'Leary. It's his studio.
Cool.
And I love working with that guy. We just have a good way of working together. And he's a phenomenal drummer, musician, guitar player. He plays everything.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah.
So that helps out too.
Yeah. People are like, "Oh man, you can play this or that or whatever," and I'm like, "No, you need to hear this guy."
Yeah.
This guy's good.
Yeah.
But and just putting singles out right now because it's a lot of time and energy and a lot of work to record a whole record, and fortunately at this level we're still able to access iTunes and Google Play and all this stuff that before was really the only way to be accessed like that is to have a major record deal.
Yeah.
And I want it, but I don't need it. I would love to have a big record deal and put out records. And
sure.
When that day comes, I'm going to do it.
You will do that. Yeah,
I will do
absolutely.
it. But for right now, when you're still working on that, when you're still getting it the way you want it, I just like to be able to do it independent. So we're releasing singles, and Lord willing, those do something for us where we have the means to do something bigger.
For sure, man. I hope so. I really do.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, everything. Now, I'm like, we talk about this. I feel like it's every show at this point about singles versus albums, man, and EPs even. Man, I just feel like singles are the way to go, man.
They are.
Like patience, again, I guess back to that point. People want something now and quick, and they want to hear it, and then momentum and just all that. All I call nonsense on social media, but it is in terms of marketing, it is exactly what it is. You got to ride these waves of trends and fads that people are into, and if you're one, in this month and 2 months later, you don't have something new, or you have that album, that still counts as that same momentum to them, and that's the hard part. Because
you and I couldn't have gone and you know, 20 years ago, we couldn't have released something, and with the click of a button.
Oh no!
Now
You'd be on the road.
you'd be on the road, just pushing it, handing out
exactly.
records, doing it. And now we can click a button, and it's available to anyone that can
in the world
get to a computer or a phone or whatever. So at the same time, it almost puts a little bit. It almost saturates it more, where every single person in the world that wants to be a musician can do that, and that's pretty cool.
From their room, exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, there's been a lot of pretty awesome discoveries that way, I think.
Yeah, hell yeah.
My boy Bieber, too. You know, that's kind of how... That's not how that worked. I don't know how it worked, but...
That's exactly how it worked, man. He's on YouTube, and what's his name? Scooter Braun. Scooped his ass up, took him down to Florida, Miami, and then did a radio tour. He did... I will give him this credit of this. I'm not like I'm a Bieber fan, but... He hit the pavement, man, like back in the old days. He hit up every radio station, dude, and I'm sure you know already. But
I mean, that's
it's just
the
crazy.
way you got to do it.
That's just crazy, man. Yeah, and that's how you have to do it. Yeah, and that's just it's easy with one man. You know, obviously one kid with the guitar running around. I say it's easy, but talent too for sure. But that's the same mindset though, man. You put it out there. I think quality recording helps because, like you said, it's oversaturated.
Sure.
The equipment that is out there to use.
Yeah.
I mean, for crying out loud, a computer comes loaded with a freaking DAW that you can just go to town on. And I mean,
what they haven't changed is the human ability to decipher if they like music or not.
That's very true.
I mean, I know that there's a lot of things that they can do, tones and frequencies, things they can do to. I mean, I'm watching commercials sometimes, and my dog's like, pops his head up, and nothing changed.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe they're putting like whistles in dog food commercials, so they'll eat more dog food.
Maybe they're trying to persuade them via the. Now we're starting another podcast. See, now we're
trying to tell you, it's going to get deep.
Dude, hey, I'm all about that, man. Trust me, that's where we get in trouble though.
But
to see the full version, go to.
But what I really think is that if you're open minded, and I have to work on it myself. Just be open minded and let music be something that you enjoy and something that feels good, and not something that's. It's not necessary to only be stuck in one train of thought with music.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you hear an Elvis song now, a 15-year-old person today is going to hear that much differently than my grandfather heard it.
For sure, yeah.
And it probably made, you know, you just never know.
Yeah.
You just never know how it would affect people now. So that's one reason why. I mean, don't get me wrong. I sure would like to have a big house and nice cars and all those things, but I'd rather my music leave a legacy than just things that used to be mine that somebody else is going to buy.
Yep.
Or a bunch of junk laying around for my family to clean up. You know, I'd rather my music leave a legacy, even if it doesn't. If I'm not Blake Shelton next year, I'm okay with that because I love playing music.
Exactly. It's so crazy, man. The arts are it just blows my. It's just it's just crazy that that exactly how that happens. Yeah. It just makes you want to leave something behind, whether that you poured your heart and soul into, and if you make it, you make it, and that's great. And it doesn't happen to majority of the people. But
if you keep working on it,
there's things that can break. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got to put yourself in a situation.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen overnight, kids.
That's right, kids.
It's not going to happen overnight. Get out there and do some stuff.
Get out there and work on it.
Yeah,
you got to work on it. If your fence is broke, you have to fix it.
You do. Otherwise, cows are going to leave pasture.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
What Jed always says. That's his old saying.
That's what he says.
So let's speaking of we're talking about all this music you have. Where we plug it up, man. Let's hear where we can find you.
So
track you down.
I've got the website.
Okay.
It's jakepyeattmusic.com.
Okay.
And the last name is spelled Pyeatt.
Got it.
And everything else is on iTunes. I mean, there's links to everything on the website. Facebook,
sure,
Instagram, Twitter.
What's your favorite social media, or if you have one at all?
I don't really care.
Fair enough. I like that answer.
That's
good.
The worst answer I could ever give.
That's a great answer. That's totally fine.
I use it for what it is. I use it to get the music out there and to reach people. But
I guess that's what I mean. Not for pleasure. I mean, more so for
I
marketing.
definitely don't don't talk about a lot of personal stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like if I have the means to do something about it, I'm just going to do it instead of talk about it.
Or talk to your circle that you know, like that's if you want to know personal
Yeah.
stuff, come be my buddy and like
I tell you what, I've learned a lot about people I didn't know I knew that little about until I
Yeah.
started watching their social media stuff.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I'm hoping that there's a wave coming of people that, or even young people, that it's just not as important as a lot of people think it is. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. It's pretty awesome that I can see what my Aunt Sheila's doing out there in Australia.
Oh, nice.
But
Australia.
I made all
Sheila,
that up.
yeah, I was gonna say
Made all that up.
You made it up at Sheila,
But I can't.
man.
But you can see anybody anywhere.
Yeah,
and
you can go Facebook Live it now too. I think we're doing
and that's cool.
And so you can live your shows and stuff.
And so I love social media for those reasons.
Yeah.
I keep the BS completely gone.
Like
You're not going to look through anything on social media of mine that's
you're not gonna learn a
negative.
damn thing about me.
Yeah, well, I just don't want there's already enough negative things.
Yeah, for sure.
Where I'm not going to promote anything negative.
Right.
I just want to be happy.
Well,
I just want to be happy.
Be happy, man. Let's be happy. Let's be happy and hear some of your songs. That's what I want to do here.
Okay.
So we're gonna come back with some songs from Jake next. Stay tuned.
Hey, I'm Jake Pyeatt, and this song is called Stay. New message on my phone said, "What's up, baby? I can't sleep." She knows I'm never home, but tonight her love finds me. And darling, you can rest assured that this time I won't let you go. So why don't you stay? Stay. Give me just a little more time so we can say what's on our mind. And darling, you, a girl, you know that I love you. You just ain't heard me say those 3 words yet. And I've been giving this a lot of thought, and I don't know just where to start. Right here in my arms, all this time the questions torn at your heart, but not anymore. So why don't you stay, babe? Stay. Give me just a little more time so we can say what's on our mind. We need to say it, babe. Why don't you stay, and give me just a little more time so we can say what's on our mind. We need to say it, babe. Say what's on our mind. We need to say it, baby. Oh.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Check us out at texaslocallive.com for everything else that's going on in our world. Be sure to check us out on all the other social media platforms we have at Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat at Texas Local Live, and we hope to be seeing you around there.